Hello, I just thought I'll send you a video because it's going to be probably a lot more effective for me to explain rather than writing a lot of text. It's just can sometimes like not go in. So the way it works with me is I can help you develop the product, but at the same time set you up a system. So the product is done well, you are optimized and minimized a lot of different risks that always happen in the product development, but because I went through a lot of challenges myself with different projects, I usually warn clients, this is a risk and this is a risk, and are you sure you want to develop this? Because I want to make sure that your launch is as smooth as it's possible. And the product development process can be very challenging. So, when I work with somebody, I try to prepare the person. This is where it's going to be challenging, and this is the next stage where it's going to. So you kind of always guided and you're ready. This is what to expect. So when things don't go according to plan, because they often don't go according to plan, you kind of ready. And that's kind of the method. Like my goal with a client is to get you a product that gonna have a high chance of good reviews. So it's not just a beautiful design, but it's optimized in the sourcing supply chain system so that you don't have too many complicated components. They are easy to reorder. You kind of go as smooth as possible. And as a result, like, if that's what you're looking to achieve and you want to launch and start making money, then I might be, a good person to help you. If on the other side you are more in a space where you're looking to explore your creativity and find your kind of style as the founder of the business that creates product, then it's a very different pathway. I can help you with that as well, but generally that pathway is less predictable, more chaotic, and sometimes those projects can take 2 hours from start to finish, just based on my experience with different other founders. So this is how it works. In terms of how much can it cost, it again depends, and I can list you the things that I can help you with, and then you decide, this is what I want, this is not what I want. So the start is the initial design. You can either tell me this is my design, and I actually, this is a sample because you mentioned you have a sample. This is the sample. I kind of want to improve this and this, but I'm not happy with this. Maybe ideally you can send it to me. We can look at it and start working with this as the base and start improving with it. It depends what you have. So that's one way, or I can start from scratch with the board of functionality requirements and the board of dislikes aesthetically. So what you don't like, what do you absolutely hate, you like pet peeves. So it's not just the brands that you like, but it's very, very important for me to know your dislikes, because it helps me to give you what you want faster as a product, because otherwise it can get frustrating. So usually the design process, from the 3 designs, first 3 visions, and a full type of factory for this type of product can roughly take about 16 hours of my time. It's an average. Like some people spend less, some people spend more, but this is kind of where this can take. And the space that costs more for some people is the revisions. If sometimes people are not sure, and I don't know how you are. I had cases where people revised the product like 7 times. I don't know, it also depends on how stressful you are at this stage of the process. So with all of this, once you have that, you can go to factory and you can have me on emails, on calls if you want. Ideally, it's very good for me to be involved in the product development questions with the factory, either on WeChat, because that's where I give you the best value. And then the product is work to make sure that you have a healthy margin and it's optimized on materials, so you're not having too many complicated materials with too many complicated restocking and volume kind of requirements, because as a brand that starts, this is how you're gonna tank. You're gonna go down at restocking because your cash flow kind of with everything else, with marketing, acquisition spend, and everything else. The cash flow is a problem unless you constantly have another source of income to pump a lot of money all the time. It's challenging. So I can basically get you, like, there's usually 3 revision samples. After 3 revision samples, I can help you with each one of them. Generally, the first sample looks shit. That's very common. That your first product's not gonna look great, but then through developments, you get to the final product. The gold seal sample, there I can help you with having a QC document. So a QC document is something that, and I can recommend you a QC inspection company that comes in to inspect your final order 100%. Now, it's very important to inspect the order 100% at the first start, because it's your first time. The factory also knows that it's your first time, and you are preparing, you're kind of protecting yourself, because I had cases where factory said, oh, you know, you're probably gonna do only like random inspection, and because they know that, they're not gonna actually do every sample, do every production unit correct, because they're like, we didn't think you're gonna do it, and then you have like issues happening because they didn't think that. So you want to be protected, because it's with a product development, it's very risky. There's a lot of risks, and there's a lot of ways that you can lose money fast. So my goal is to help you to get to the launch phase without getting unnecessary things. There are necessary things where you need to spend money, and there are unnecessary things. And I'm a founder myself. Like, I'm in the process of launching a home decor brand, and I can tell you, like, how quickly you can lose a lot of money. Materials, components, everything. So I'm kind of talking from experience, and you know, like, I know what I'm doing as well. Like, I've done it like for 15 years, like for other companies. So I really do know different ways it could go wrong. Right. So I can help you with a lot. So if you look at the hours involvement here, this is, you know, from the tech pack stage to the development stage, you're gonna have probably 3 to 6 months where you have couple of hours here, couple of hours here, couple of hours here. So that can probably accumulate to about 20 hours on the development stage of my involvement time. And that sometimes that can be like for 2 products, that's what it works at. I can't tell you the exact figure here, because it really depends how much factory communicates and how many problems there are. Sometimes it goes smooth and factory doesn't ask many questions, and sometimes they ask a lot of questions and you have to constantly provide samples. You don't know. So, but if you budget for about 20 hours for the development during this stage, then you know, you kind of like prepared for that. And at your final stage of your QC document's going to be about 3 to 4 hours as well. If you budget for that, then you're good. I can also help you as once you start, like, if you need any content from me for your social media, let's say while I'm designing, while I'm developing, you have videos, I can think of doing that. So you have content that you can use while you're building your pipeline, if that's what you're going to do, on social media for your emails, like subscription list. So people start waiting for a product and you start building the audience. And I can also help you with the brief for photography to make sure that your product is photographed well and a lot of functionality and the story that you have is incorporated into your landing page and the product pages. I work with a copywriter, so if you know, once you start building the newsletter sequence and stuff, I can help you with that as well, where, you know, the copywriter I work with is briefed, and you start kind of working on all of this. And because I've done this before, I can advise you, you know, that because there are issues that people often do and miss out. You have amazing story behind the product, and then it's absolutely nothing to show when the product is launched. It's just a product. And you know, what's your trust like level to people? Nobody knows you, nobody trusts you. So it's just building that trust, building that credibility, looking to get yourself featured into different newsletters and stuff, starting to plan that in and things like that, as well as the packaging pipeline. I can help you so that you start your packaging design pipeline well in advance of your product finished. Um, yeah, and I also work with like a coach. So if the project lasts a considerable amount of time and we have like a certain spend per month from me on those months where you have a certain spend, you qualify for a complimentary session with a coach. So if you're feeling very frustrated and stressed, then you have a bit of help because starting a business is very stressful and it's very frustrating. So you have help there, like, you know, somebody to reassure you, to help you process your thoughts, because personally I find it's very helpful, and a lot of times a lot of decisions that people make sometimes under stress are not very good. So the idea is to always get you to a good place mentally, so that the decisions you make about everything are clear, and you have the best chance of success and not burn out when you launch, because people do burn out. People like give up when they launch the product, spend a lot of money, and then they close business. You don't want to go there. So that's basically it. And yeah, if this resonates with you, then let me know. If you're looking at the overall cost of the project, I gave you like the sections. There's always going to be, if you need to have a call with me in between all the sessions, obviously I charge for that time, like a consultancy calls per hourly. If you look at the overall cost of how much this can cost, again, if you're going to be very careful with your budget and you understand, look, this is what I want, then you kind of optimize that budget and my time effectively. People have spent on developing like complex products with me. Sometimes it can cost you over a year, or over like 2 years. It can cost you like 5,000-6,000. It can cost you more. If you have a bigger collection and you start developing more products, then it can cost like 20,000 over a couple of years. But on 20,000 there's like a lot of involvement. I can source stuff for you and visit factories and do a lot of guidance, do a lot of different design, like bring new suppliers, factories in. Like it's the more it depends on what you want and the value you're looking, because I can just help you with design and get you, and you kind of go and set the product. But if you want the custom components created, the custom materials created, the patterns created from scratch, all of these things are different pipeline, and they kind of add up. If you want me to go and visit the factory for you and like look at the samples and revise them, then that's totally possible. As well as generally kind of spend, I can go and visit you, like, or in a neutral location, because I'm not quite sure where you are, to spend time like developing and reworking the samples, like kind of high intensity couple of hours like meetings, where we kind of look at the sample and tear it apart. So everything is possible, but obviously all of these blogs have a cost, and as a result value to you, and it's really about you, what you want. I also do sourcing, so if like I visit trade shows, whenever I have custom sourcing requests from clients, then I go and visit trade shows specifically with those requests. But yeah, like it's kind of depends on what you want, and as a result I can give you the cost on what you are looking for. So everybody's budget as a result is very different, and the output of value that they get is very different. It's really up to you. Anyway, this is a rather long message now, so thank you very much, and if this resonates, then do get in touch.